Okay, so I need to be real with you about something. Tomorrow isn't just another day, and I really don't think most people understand what's about to happen. At exactly 7:30 tomorrow morning, Mars, the planet of drive, ambition and pure raw energy, enters Capricorn. And here's why that matters. This isn't just Mars changing signs. This is Mars entering its most powerful position in the entire zodiac. They call it exaltation, and honestly, when I first learned what that really meant, it completely changed how I look at these transits. But here's what's really getting my attention. The timing of this couldn't be more perfect, because if you've been feeling stuck, frustrated, or like you're driving with the parking brake on these past few weeks, there's a reason for that. And tomorrow, that reason goes away. Now, if you're a Capricorn, Aries, or Taurus, stay with me on this one. There's something very specific happening for you that I'm going to break down later in this video, because while everyone's going to feel this shift, you three, you're about to experience something on a completely different level. But first, I need to explain why the last week has felt so impossibly hard, because understanding that is going to help you understand why tomorrow changes everything. You've been fighting an invisible wall, and it wasn't your imagination. So let's talk about what's been happening. Have you noticed how nothing seems to be working right lately? Like you're pushing and pushing, but nothing's moving. You set intentions, you take action, you do everything right, and somehow it all just stalls. That's not you being weak. That's not you failing. I believe that's Mars hitting Saturn, and if you felt it on December 9th especially, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's what I think was happening. Mars in Sagittarius wanted to go big, dream big, expand in every direction. But Saturn in Pisces said, not so fast. It was like trying to sprint through water. The harder you pushed, the more resistance you felt. Does that resonate? And then, just when you thought it couldn't get worse, yesterday happened. Mars squared Neptune, and I don't know about you, but I felt like I was moving through fog. Not just mental fog, everything felt foggy. My motivation disappeared. My clarity vanished. I literally sat at my desk for an hour yesterday, just staring at my computer screen, completely lost. Has that been you too? But here's what I want you to understand, and this was a huge realization for me. This wasn't random. This wasn't the universe punishing you. I think this was the universe preparing you, because you can't appreciate the clarity that's coming if you haven't experienced the confusion. You can't value the momentum if you haven't felt the resistance. The last 2 weeks have been like pulling back a slingshot. All that tension, all that frustration, it wasn't holding you back. It was building potential energy. And tomorrow you get released. Mars in Capricorn isn't just good, it's the ultimate power position. Okay, so I really need you to understand what's about to happen, because this isn't your average transit. When Mars enters Capricorn tomorrow, it's not just changing signs, it's coming home to its throne. See, every planet has places where it struggles and places where it thrives, but then there's something even more special, exaltation. And Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Let me explain what that actually means, because when I first understood this, everything clicked. Mars is heat, passion, drive. It's that burning desire to act, to move, to conquer. Now in fire signs, Mars burns wild and uncontrolled. It's powerful, but it's also chaotic. But in Capricorn, that's different. Capricorn is cold earth, structure, discipline. And when you put Mars fire into Capricorn's container, you don't get less power, you get focused power. You get steam engines, you get controlled combustion, you get unstoppable force meeting immovable structure, and somehow they work together perfectly. I think of it like this. Mars in other signs is like a wildfire. Impressive, sure, but unpredictable. Mars in Capricorn, that's a laser. Same energy, but now it can cut through steel. And here's what this means for you. Starting tomorrow, your ambitions aren't just dreams anymore. They become plans. Your desires aren't just wishes. They become strategies. The things you've been wanting to do but couldn't figure out how. The path suddenly becomes crystal clear. This isn't motivation that burns out in 3 days. This isn't a New Year's resolution that fails by January 5th. This is sustainable, strategic, serious power. And it lasts until January 23rd. That's 6 weeks of the universe basically saying, go get it. And this time, get it for real. The fog lifts tomorrow at 7:30 and everything changes. I want you to imagine something with me. You know when you're driving in thick fog, barely able to see 5 feet ahead, gripping the wheel, moving at a crawl, and then suddenly, the fog breaks. The sun comes through. You can see the road, the signs, everything. That relief you feel, that surge of confidence, that's tomorrow morning. At 7:30 in the morning, when Mars crosses into Capricorn, I believe the cosmic fog machine gets switched off. All that confusion from the Neptune square, gone. The resistance from the Saturn square, dissolved. The lethargy, the doubt, the sense that you're pushing against something you can't even see, it ends. And I really think you're going to physically feel this. Some people might wake up with this sudden surge of energy. Others might feel this weird sense of calm clarity, like they finally know exactly what to do. For me, when Mars enters Capricorn, I always feel like someone just cleaned my mental windshield. Everything looks sharper. Does that make sense? But here's what's really interesting, and honestly, this caught me off guard when I first noticed it. The shift is instant. It's not gradual. One moment you're in the fog, the next moment you're not. One moment you're stuck, the next moment you're moving. Tomorrow morning, you might wake up and feel like a completely different person. And you wouldn't be wrong. If you're Capricorn, Aries or Taurus, this is your moment. Alright, so remember when I said 3 signs are about to level up big? Let's talk about why, because this is really specific and I think it's important you understand what's happening for you. If you're a Capricorn, tomorrow is your renaissance. I mean that literally. Mars entering your sign is like the sun rising after the longest night. Since late October, Mars has been in your 12th house, the house of hidden things, exhaustion, self-undoing. No wonder you've been feeling like you're operating at half capacity, right? But tomorrow, Mars crosses into your first house, your identity sector. This is like getting handed the keys to your own life again. Your energy returns, your confidence spikes. People are going to look at you differently because you're radiating this undeniable power. The universe is literally saying, this is your time, take the stage. And here's what I think is so powerful about this for Capricorns. You don't have to learn how to use Mars in Capricorn energy. You are Capricorn energy. It's like everyone else is learning a new language, but your native speaker. This is your superpower activated. If you're an Aries, this might be the most important career transit you'll have all year. Mars is your ruling planet, so when Mars is strong, you're strong. And Mars in Capricorn, that's Mars at maximum strength, channeled directly into your 10th house of career and reputation. This isn't just about getting ahead at work. This is about executive energy, CEO energy, the kind of presence that makes people stop and listen when you walk into a room. The impulsiveness that usually gets you in trouble, it transforms into strategic boldness. The impatience that holds you back, it becomes urgency that gets things done. I really believe if you've been waiting for a promotion, wanting to launch something, or ready to step into a leadership role, this is it. The universe is basically handing you a cosmic MBA and saying, now go run things. If you're a Taurus, you're getting something even more interesting. Mars in Capricorn forms a perfect trine to your sign. That's like cosmic harmony. No friction, no resistance, just pure flow. And it's lighting up your 9th house of expansion, vision, and higher purpose. While Capricorn and Aries are grinding in the boardroom, you're expanding the entire playing field. This is about thinking bigger than you've ever thought before. That dream you thought was too ambitious? It's not. That goal you thought would take 10 years? Try 2. And here's what I love about this for Taurus. You're naturally cautious, naturally risk-averse, but Mars in Capricorn gives you this perfect balance of ambition and security. It's like having a safety net while walking a tightrope. You can take the big swings because the structure is there to support you. The old you can't survive where you're going. Here's something I really need you to hear, and this might be uncomfortable, but I think it's important. The person you've been for the last few months, that version of you was built for a different energy, and that energy is ending tomorrow. The confused version of you, the frustrated version, the one who's been second-guessing everything, that was you navigating the fog. But when the fog clears, you can't keep acting like it's still there. Does that make sense? I think tomorrow marks a death and a rebirth, the death of excuses, honestly, the death of I can't, because the death of waiting for the perfect moment, because tomorrow is the moment, and every day after that for 6 weeks. But here's the thing, and I've experienced this myself, when Mars enters Capricorn, it doesn't coddle you, it doesn't ease you into change, it's like boot camp for your ambitions. You either step up or you get left behind. And I know that sounds intense, but I actually think it's exactly what we need right now. Because how long have you been waiting? How long have you been saying someday? How long have you been preparing to be ready? Tomorrow, the universe stops accepting those excuses. It's not cruel, it's clear. The support is there, the energy is there, the cosmic backing is there. The only question is, are you going to use it? This isn't about working harder, it's about working like a CEO. Okay, so this is really important, and I think a lot of people misunderstand this. Mars in Capricorn isn't about grinding yourself into dust. It's not about working 20-hour days or pushing until you break. That's Mars in Aries energy. All gas, no strategy. Mars in Capricorn is CEO energy. It's about working smarter, not just harder. It's about building systems, not just checking off tasks. It's about delegation, leverage, and strategic thinking. This is why I genuinely believe tomorrow is perfect for creating your 2026 blueprint. Not your to-do list, your blueprint. Think about it. We're 2 weeks away from New Year's. Most people are going to wait until January 1st to set their resolutions, and by then, they'll already be behind. But if you start tomorrow, you're starting with Mars at maximum power. You're starting with the universe literally designed to support strategic action. Here's what I'm going to do tomorrow, and maybe this resonates with you. I'm sitting down with a spreadsheet, not because it's exciting, but because Mars in Capricorn loves structure. I'm mapping out not just what I want, but the exact steps to get there. The timeline, the milestones, the metrics, because this energy rewards the prepared. And here's something interesting I've noticed. When Mars is in Capricorn, the boring work suddenly feels satisfying. Creating systems, organizing files, building frameworks. It all feels like progress. Because it is progress. Real, sustainable, lasting progress. You have 6 weeks of pure power. Don't waste them. I really want you to understand the gift you're being given here. From tomorrow until January 23rd, Mars is in its most powerful position. No retrogrades, no major obstacles. Just pure, focused, executive energy saying, build your empire. This isn't going to happen again for another 2 years. 2 years, think about that. The next time Mars enters Capricorn with this kind of clear runway won't be until 2027. Where do you want to be by then? Because what you start in the next 6 weeks could determine exactly that. And here's what I think is so special about this timing. It bridges 2025 and 2026. You're not just setting up for a new year, you're setting up for a new chapter. The things you build now, the foundations you lay, the bold moves you make, they're going to define your entire 2026, maybe longer. But you have to start tomorrow, not next week, not after the holidays, tomorrow, because this energy is like a train. Once it starts moving, you want to be on it, not chasing after it. I know it might feel like there's too much going on right now, the holidays, the end of the year, all the obligations, but that's exactly why this is so powerful. While everyone else is distracted, you're building. While everyone else is waiting for January, you're already months ahead. The universe is literally giving you the green light. You know what I realized as I was preparing for this video? We've been at a red light for weeks. That Mars-Saturn square was a red light. The Mars-Neptune square was like driving through a fog so thick you couldn't even see the traffic signals. But tomorrow at 7:30, green light, all systems go. And not just a regular green light. This is like when you're driving and you hit that perfect sequence where every light turns green right as you approach it. That's Mars in Capricorn. The universe clearing the path and saying, go, now, fast. But here's what I want you to really understand, and this is something I had to learn the hard way. A green light doesn't mean anything if you don't hit the gas. The universe can give you all the cosmic support in the world, but you still have to take the action. So what are you going to do tomorrow? What's the first move? What's the thing you've been putting off that you know would change everything if you just did it? Because tomorrow, you have no excuse not to. And if you're thinking, but I don't know what to do, yes, you do. Deep down, you know exactly what to do. You've known for months. You've just been waiting for permission. Well, this is it. This is your permission slip from the universe, signed, sealed, and delivered at 7:30 tomorrow morning. This energy rewards the bold, but only the strategic bold. Here's the final thing I really want you to understand about tomorrow. Mars in Capricorn doesn't reward random action. It rewards strategic action. It doesn't care about busy work. It cares about empire building. So before you rush into tomorrow with a massive to-do list, take a breath. Ask yourself, what's the one thing that would change everything? What's the strategic move that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? That's where you start. Because I really believe this transit is about quality over quantity. It's about making 3 powerful moves instead of 30 desperate ones. It's about building something that lasts instead of something that looks good for a week. The universe is saying go get it, but it's also saying go get the right thing. And if you listen closely, if you tune in tomorrow morning when that fog clears, you'll know exactly what that is. All right, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching this with me. Seriously, I know this was a lot of information, but I really felt like you needed to know what's coming. If this resonated with you and you want to see more content like this, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And honestly, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, what are you going to do with this Mars in Capricorn energy? What's the big move you're going to make? I read every comment and I love seeing what you all are creating. Take care of yourself, use this energy wisely, and I'll see you in the next one.